When I finally accepted that I didn't need anybody else's permission to live my own damn life, I was free. And I wish I had known this earlier in my journey. If there's anything I wish I had known before when it came to pursuing my purpose and living out my dream, it's knowing that the people around me, those who I valued so much, right? People whose opinions I held in the highest regard. If I had known that their opinions meant nothing and absolutely nothing when it came to me and my own vision, my own purpose, I never would have stopped and started. I never would have stopped at any moment in time within my journey. Now, there were, times when I was putting out content or trying to put out content and creating music and trying to become this artist and writing the book, but never actually publishing it. There were times when I would pour a little bit into my vision, a little bit into my dream, and then I would pull back simply because I was still holding other people's opinions and more important than my own. I was waiting for my mama and my daddy to pat me on the back and to tell me I was doing such a great job. I was waiting for people to understand what the hell I was trying to do, right? I would try to articulate my vision to those who did not have vision for themselves. And so I felt as if I was, frankly, if I was crazy. There were some moments when I was just questioning myself, like, is this real? Is this all in my head? Maybe, just maybe, all of them are right and I'm wrong, right? Because in most cases, it's like if there's a pattern where I am the common denominator, then I'm probably the problem in that situation. Therefore, when I was looking out into my old environment, right, into my old circle, into the people that I used to keep around me before I understood who I truly was, before I understood the power that dwelt within me, I thought to myself, man, they might be right. Maybe they see something I'm not seeing. Maybe they see reality and I'm living this dream, and it's best that I just hang up that dream because I don't want to end up, living under a bridge. I don't want to end up destitute. I want to end up in a place of absolute disappointment with my life. And so I followed their words and I followed their advice. And even when they had nothing to say, I could still sense that they didn't believe in me. They didn't see the things that I saw for myself. And so I would detract from my very own dreams, not understanding that it was never their purpose. It was never their role. It was never their job to tell me who I was, let alone to celebrate me for it. As a matter of fact, some of them served an even greater purpose, which was to remind me that nobody else's opinion matters when it comes to you and your own purpose. Think about that. There are some people in your life right now who you think are supposed to be your biggest cheerleaders and your biggest supporters when the most important role they play is the most important role, which is to remind you that the power is in you. You are supposed to believe in you. There are, again, people you love and you wish could be on this journey with you, but they can't see what's in you. And that's not the role they're supposed to play. And that for me at first was painful. I'll be honest. I used to play it cool and I used to play real aloof and cold, but I cared. I gave a damn. I used to say I didn't care about support, but I really did. I wanted support. I wanted love. I wanted people to appreciate what I had to give to this world. But in the entirety of that time, I couldn't actually appreciate myself. I had no value for what I was doing. And so, of course, I couldn't expect anybody else to have that value for me, right? Like, we got to get that out the way. Like, nobody is actually going to ever truly believe in you unless you believe in yourself, because life is a mirror. However, when you're looking for certain people to value you, when you're looking for the family, the friends, the acquaintances, or whoever you have in your current environment, if you're waiting for them, you might be looking for the wrong audience to appreciate you. Like, when I started putting out content, it wasn't my mom and my daddy who are on my YouTube, and it still ain't my mom and my daddy on my YouTube in the comment section. Tell me how this is, changing their life, or how this is getting them to see life differently, or whatever role that my content may be playing in their life. It wasn't them. It wasn't them buying copies of the books. It was people that I had never met before, but yet that resonated with me so deep. It was my soul tribe. It was those who connected with me. And I could have never connected with those individuals if it had not been for me letting go of this need of everybody else's permission, this need of, again, mama and grandma, auntie, uncle, sister, cousin, all these people. We trying to get a whole family reunion going. We trying to get people to throw a parade for us just because we're pursuing our own purpose, when in reality, the only belief that matters is your own belief. And I remember listening to this short, it was a 50 Cent short back in the day, whatever back in the day means, right? That was like 6 months ago, whatever it may be. But 50 was talking about how when he first got into the music industry, and by For some out there, you might not remember that 50 Cent was the biggest music artist at one point, period. Right? He was the biggest thing out. 90s babies, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. 80s babies, y'all know what I'm talking about. 2000 babies, y'all might kind of remember. 2010 babies, ain't no way you remember this. You think that 50 is just the producer of Power and shows like that, right? But when he first got into the music industry, or was accepted into the music industry, right? When he first started blowing up, he said a lot of people thought he was so arrogant. He was so cocky, so full of himself. And he said, the reason I came off that way is because I had to believe in myself so much because nobody else would believe in me. By the time I got into the music industry and, I'd gotten that momentum, I literally was the only person who could actually see my complete vision. And so I came off as cocky because I developed that, that power, that knowing of who I was. I had to do that for me. And then, of course, the world gravitated towards that. And so it became beneficial for him in the external. But, when I look at the Conor McGregors of the world, whoever it may be, people who are called arrogant and cocky and full of themselves, it's that very same mentality. And it's going to have to be that same mentality for yourself. People are going to see you and think you're crazy, but then they're going to think you're arrogant. They're going to think you're full of yourself. Who does he think he is? Who do you think he is, filming these videos and writing these books and putting out music and writing script? Like, who are you to do these things? And you have to remind them that I am called to this. This is my purpose. This is my mission. Like a young Michael Jordan, they're looking at him like, who the hell do you think you are, coming out of college thinking you're going to be somebody special, right? There were people who were in that same class, the Charles Barkleys of the world, etc., who were seen as superior to Michael. He was just this kid who hit a home run. He was this kid who hit a game winner for North Carolina, and now everybody's thinking, oh, you think you hot, you think you somebody. Lo and behold, a couple of years later, he was a somebody. So you really have to start seeing that within yourself. You have to start cultivating that self-belief. And, sometimes it seems so airy-fairy, like, oh, you got to believe in yourself. But it's real. This ain't a cliche for no reason. Like, the fact that you have something that has been placed in you means it's already real. Right? That's something we first have to acknowledge and then accept. It's like if you have a vision for something and it's burning desire in you, it's real. And how do I know it's real? Because somebody's done it before. And if nobody's done it before, then you're the one to do it, right? But there's nothing in this world that can be given to you as a vision for your life that cannot be brought into fruition. And it is your vision for a specific reason. And it's not our job to go get somebody else's vision, right? Like I've had to do this thing of taking people off of their pedestals, of seeing somebody as more important than me. Oh, look at what Jay-Z's done. Look at what this person done. Look at Tyler Perry. Like, no, take them off the pedestals. They are normal human beings just like you and I who have something in them that they allowed to manifest. And for you, it doesn't need to be something that part of the world sees as important. You might care about organization and that's all you give a damn about. And you become the greatest organizer of all time, right? All you might care about is, drawing and comic books. And this ain't the age, quote unquote, or era for comic books, but yet you bring those in a way that they have never been presented before. And so you leave your mark on this world. It might be opening up that chain of salons. Like you have something in you that nobody else truly has. And I also understand that there are these programs and these conditions of somebody's already doing it, isn't the market saturated? No, nobody is you. Nobody can be you. Nobody will ever be you. Therefore, you are here to leave your mark and you don't need anybody else's approval, their stamp. You don't need anybody else to check off on whether you're valid or not. I waited too long, bro. Like, yeah, I might still be, considered young in some people's eyes, right? Some of y'all I might see, man, he's kind of older. I thought he was like 22. Or some of y'all might be thinking, oh, I was a little older. I'm 27 years old at this very moment of filming this, right? You might watch this. I'm now 30, I'm 50, I'm 80, whatever. But right now I'm 27. And I got my vision at 15, 16, at 14, as a matter of fact. And if we're to take it earlier, 2-3 years old, I was already acting. I was already on stage. I was already writing little stories, etc. So there was that propensity in me at a very young age, but it was suppressed and it was silenced. And when I finally came to a place of consciousness and moving through life for myself, I was so conditioned to needing people's approval that, well, that mattered more than this mattered. They mattered more than I mattered. And so I lived to approve or live for the approval of others as opposed to living my own life authentically and absolutely. And there are going to be people who look at you and think you're selfish. All you do is focus on yourself. All you're doing is this thing. Like, can't you go out there and do X, Y, and Z? But really all those people are saying is they want you to do what they want, right? Like I always say, they call you a saint when you do it for them. They call you a sinner when you do it for you. Or they call you selfish when you do it for you. So when you offer up a service to them, oh, you a saint. You give them some money, oh, you a saint. As soon as you do it for yourself, oh, look how selfish he is. That's why I stopped taking people's words for anything. I start taking everything with a grain of salt, good, bad, and indifferent. Their words can only mean to me what my word means to me. Their word can only influence me if I take that word and I take ownership of it. That's why I don't take people's labels. That's why I don't take whatever people want to put on me. People want to call me this. They want to call me that. Oh, he's new age. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. You can call me whatever the hell that you want to call me. But at the end of the day, my opinion of me is the only thing that is ever going to matter. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. And that's the mentality you got to carry with you. I'm not here to tell you to beat a something. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to tell you that it is in you. Like, the answers have always been in you. You got to come back to yourself. You got to come back to yourself every single time. You got to check in with you. At the end of the day, when you lay on that pillow and you call it a nice sleep, you might be with your bae, a woman that you love with everything in you, the man that you love with your entire being, but you still going to sleep with you. It's still going to be you living that life. You're the one who is going to have to experience this life as you. And if you can't be cool with you, if you can't be satisfied with you, if you can't be fulfilled within your own skin, there's nothing else and nobody else that is going to make that up for you. And I know they got you fooled. They got you out here thinking, oh man, you need this one and that one's approval and that one and this one's attention and this one and that one's going to make. No. And it's so ironic because the moment that you start to pour into yourself and you start to truly believe in yourself and you start to be intentional in the way that you move about your life for you, once you start to do that, the world opens up. All of a sudden, people who never supported, boom, boom, oh my, wow, you are amazing. Look at you. Go Aquarius. Like, there were crickets before. Now it's Go Aquarius. There were people asking, why'd you change your name to Aquarius? Now it's, wow, I love the name Aquarius. People start to support you and believe in you when you start to believe and support yourself. But it's not their job to do so in this journey. It's nobody else's job to do so. Nobody has got to bump your song. Nobody's got to watch your video. Nobody's got to buy your paint. Nobody's got to observe and look at what it is that you have to display in this world. Nobody's got to walk through the doors of your business establishment. It is for you to believe so much in your own vision that they can't help but do so. They can't help it. Like when I'm coming off like this, off the rip, off like when I'm just being me, I'm just here with y'all. You can't help but feel this energy because this is me, and this ain't me again trying to be arrogant and cocky. Oh, he's somebody. No, this is me knowing that this is my gifting. This is what I'm here for. And when I deliver this message, it's going to impact. And I'm not going to try to get people, oh man, I hope that. I don't be sending my links to people unless they ask. If somebody said, man, can I please get this? Or what's going, I've got this going on in my life. Can you please help me? I might send a link. But otherwise, I don't need to send anybody a link. I know that what I have is of value. And when I put that into the world, it's going to be received as such. I know that I have a powerful message to give to the people. And when it is received absolutely. And by those who don't see the value, it's not for them. And it never was. And that's okay. And they may be people in my circle. Again, I used to get butthurt off of this. I used to get very offended. How dare my family members? How dare them not see who I am? How dare them not see that I have a gift in me and that there are things that I want to do in my life? Not understanding that I never needed them in the first place. Ain't no malice, no hatred, no looking at them 2 ways till Tuesday. It's just the reality. They have things that they value, and what I have to give to the world may not be what they value right now. Like if you don't value depth, right? If you don't value intellect, if you don't value spirituality, if you don't value substance, if you don't value life at a certain perspective, you're not going to see me as valuable. You might see me as annoying. You might see me as too much. You might see me as extra. You might see me as woo-woo. You might see me as whatever you see me as. But if you value what I have to give, then it's going to be of value to you. And you have to look at yourself in the very same way. Again, believe in what you have. Put that out into the world, and whoever is supposed to get it, whoever is supposed to value it, is going to come and get that thing. You open the doors to a restaurant. You can't be mad that there's people walking by the restaurant. The ones who are supposed to walk in are the ones who value what you got going on. Man, I can't believe they're not walking to my joint. They might not be into vegetables. Maybe you got a salad bar and they ain't into the vegetables. They ain't into the lettuce, the romaine. They ain't into none of that. But maybe you pull up with the steak joint. Maybe they want the steak. But that doesn't mean you got to then open up the steak joint. Do what you are called to do. Do what is intended for you and let it flow from that place, period. And I promise you're going to see these doors start to open up. Like for myself, they were telling me, YouTube, YouTube, you got to be on there for at least 3 years and then monetize and then it's going to take this long at least to monetize. I was like, with all due respect, no, I'm not going to take your word for it. And some of these people are the ones who haven't even done it themselves. They telling me how long it's going to take at least 3 years. You got to, be consistent. Don't post too much, but don't post too little. And I said, you know what? No, there was a decision I made. I said, every day I'm going to put a video out because that's what I feel called to. I feel that there's a message in me that, I can give to the people. There's something that is looking to make its way up out of me every single day. And let me just put that out. And I did it day after day after day after day after day. Day after day after day after day after day. Day after day after day after day. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, less than a year later, I'm here in a place where I'm now monetized, right? Not because it was a structural, strategic move, but because I simply put myself out there, I used my gift in the way it was intended to be used, and I allowed myself not to be swayed by the opinions of others or the approval of others. I didn't need people leaving 100 comments. I didn't need people chirping, and I didn't need any of that. All I knew was I have this gift. I'm going to put this out into the world, and it's going to be received how it's received. And sure enough, here we are. At this moment in time, wherever we are, in my own journey. And again, I want to leave you guys with this. Well, I'm going to leave you to 2 things, actually. Shameless plug, my first published book. Actually, let me get you the real one. This is the one that's going to be delivered to your house right here. Doing Me Guilt-Free, my very first published book. Make sure to get yourself a copy. One of the, yep, that's authentic, certified. That's your boy right there. Yes, sir. But, I'm going to leave you with that, and I'm going to leave you with this. It's already hard enough in this journey having to deal with yourself, right? Having to deal with your own programming, your own conditioning, and the stories that have been told to you over a lifetime. Like that is a larger part of this becoming journey, when you're stepping into your aspiration, your dream, your purpose, and you're accomplishing these higher goals that you have for yourself. It's already enough on that front. But introducing people into your life and having to have them show up in certain ways is going to make it close to impossible. So this is also a practical guide to letting go of anybody else's opinion in order for you to salvage yourself. Don't waste time, don't waste energy in trying to get other people to see the things that are within you. And once you incubate and you close yourself off and you allow that dream as a fetus to turn into, a born baby and an infant, and you raise it and it becomes an adolescent, and then now it's going to be strong enough to fend for itself. Once you do that, there's going to come a point where that baby is now growing into its own and it's having a life of its own, and you no longer have to protect it in the same way. But in the very beginning, you have to protect that thing with everything in you. You have to put it in the incubator. You cannot allow the rest of the world to tamper with it. And so you keep it to yourself. That doesn't mean there won't be people supporting you along the way. There's always going to be people who show up, right? But it might not be in the way that you think it's supposed to, or from the people that you want it to come from. And so keep it here, keep it close to you, and allow it to mature in its own natural timing and process. And I promise you, everything you've ever desired in this life is going to come into fruition for you, point blank, period. I appreciate you guys. So much love. Again, one more shameless plug. Doing Me Guilt-Free. Doing Me Guilt-Free. Get yourself a copy by clicking the link in the description below. That part. Until the next time, appreciate you guys. Namaste and namasko.